So you want to tell your story. Well, whether it's in a book or some other medium, how do you start writing? You just sit down and start, right? Wrong. That's probably the worst thing you can do. Because if you don't have a solid idea of why you're writing and what you're writing and a plan to do it, you're probably going to quit sooner than later. Probably sooner. So, how do you actually figure out why you want to write your story? What's the single best reason to write your story? Think about it. I'll give you a second. Come up with something? Okay, let's see if you're right. The single best reason to write your story is to help people. Okay? But it's not just by helping people by sharing your information. That's great. But you've got to actually share your journey. The journey that you've had in your life is what taught you that information. That information is important and valuable because of the journey that you had. That's why it's believable. People aren't going to just take your word for it. They need to know that you lived it. So by sharing your journey, it allows them to really respect and appreciate your information and believe it. So how do you share your journey? Well, let me tell you a little bit about mine. I was a former reporter for People magazine and the tabloids, covered some of the biggest stories of the 90s. The O.J. Simpson murder, Michael Jackson molestation cases, chased Oprah Winfrey around. I don't even remember my 40th birthday, and I remember hers. Then the Columbine story happened, and I was interviewing one of the victims' parents. She started bawling and asking me why the journalists hated them so much. I told her it was because they wanted to make a buck off of her. So I quit my job and I started writing stories about people overcoming tough times. That led me to 5 books on the subject, which then led me to helping CEOs and people like you who had an important story to tell and wanted to help people with it. So I started doing that for a company in Austin. Then I went on to do it in my own company. And about a dozen books later, here I am giving you some tips. If you want a little more help, feel free to look me up. C as in Chris, B as in boy, ENGUHE at yahoo.com.